Tattoos. Check. Beard, top knot, or both. Check. Artisanal, anything in hand. Check. Helping to grow the economy and support local business. We're about to check. Dubbed the flat white economy, let's find out 15 things you didn't know about the hipster economy. Number 1. The definition of hipster capitalism. Garland magazine wanted to delve deeper into what hipster capitalism really meant after a paper was published on Sage Journals titled Hipster Capitalism in the Age of Austerity. Garland gave the example of an artist. Instead of an artist hanging around for the unlikely chance a major academic position becomes available, or they receive a massive grant, or their work gets snapped up by a collector, they can still use their creativity and become a tattoo artist. This trend is driven not only by social factors, but also the decrease of specific industries. Their definition of hipster capitalism is using the skill one already has, and instead of pursuing the expected course of employment, that skill gets used in a new, creative, and helpful way. Number 2. The need for hipster jobs to be filled continues to grow. Over the past few years, there have been a rather specific line of work that hipsters are associated with. These include yoga teachers, baristas, tattoo artists, distillery employment, and anything vegan-related. According to Indeed.com, bartending is the most widely available hipster job. They also confirmed that hipster jobs with the most postings were for bartenders, chefs, baristas, yogis, and tattoo artists. And on a side note, these findings were pre-COVID, so it's possible that as businesses are reopening, there may be a shift in these results. Now, let's see what hipsters are earning in these fields. Number 3. The salary for these roles has increased substantially. Aluxers, in the past, if you were working as a yoga teacher, barista, or tattoo artist, the remuneration wouldn't have been amazing. But as these crafts have become more specialized and sought after, the rate per hour has also increased. As reported by Personnel Today, a UK-based HR website, and note again, pre-COVID, salaries in these roles have increased. Tattoo artists made on average just over £44 an hour, while yoga teachers made almost £22 per hour. Baristas and bartenders made considerably less, at around £8 per hour, but that's possibly due to longer hours of the job, compared to the shorter, more concentrated period worked by yoga teachers or tattoo artists. And Aluxers, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to ensure you don't miss any of our daily videos. Number 4. How the hipster industry has grown. PR Newswire just released a report on the exponential growth predicted for the coffee sector and specialist coffee shops. They say the global specialty coffee shops market is expected to register an incremental growth of $80.78 billion. We mentioned the beards earlier, and that means there's a market for men's grooming products. That industry garnered revenue of $56.2 billion in 2019, also brought forward by PR Newswire. Global Newswire predicts that the organic food market will be worth $272.18 billion by 2027, and Brewers Association says the craft beer market is worth around $29.3 billion. As you might have experienced yourself, buying products in any of these categories can often cost a lot, and we're going to find out why next. Number 5. Hipster products are more expensive, and here's why. For a start, many hipsters hear young, motivated person wanting to go into their own business, make everything from scratch. They source their products locally, employ locals, and do everything themselves. And that's why the cost is often more than your mass-produced varieties. We often associate the products with the person selling them. And Aluxers, hipsters do not want to sell themselves short. And that's advice we should all follow, whether we're hipster or not. Price Intelligently published an article about how hipsters are driving up beer prices, and their take was that for hipsters, it was all about image. They used the example of Pabst Blue Ribbon beer and stated, Pabst knows that brand image, not taste, is the main reason hipsters are buying their beer, and they also know that cool kids can generally pay a little more. Number 6. Australia is driving hipster service economy. Australia is experiencing the same spike in job seekers looking for hipster jobs. Between 2015 and 18, there was a 38.5% increase of people looking for this type of employment, according to the New Daily. Research released by Indeed confirmed Australia's status as being miles ahead of other countries when it comes to coffee culture. Indeed economist Callum Pickering said, "We place greater emphasis on great coffee and good food, and that's being reflected in the hiring decisions being made and the jobs we are taking on." He also predicted that service industries are expected to dominate job growth over the next 2 decades. Number 7. Not everyone supports the hipster economy, aka hipster bashing. Hipsters have been around for centuries, except they were known as Marconis or Bohemians, and hipster bashing has been around just as long. Anthony Dursey, writing for Huffington Post, brought forward some thoughts on why hipster bashing continues. He said, "It seems that commentators are conflating 2 different modern issues, urban sprawl or gentrification and rising economic inequality." He concludes his article by saying, "Can we for 1 minute just celebrate the fact that our global urban youth thrive in multicultural neighborhoods, celebrate and adapt to new trends, and invest their money into local businesses?" Which brings us directly to our next point. Number 8. Small businesses rely on hipsters. One of the many things that make a hipster is the desire to find brands and coffee that you don't know about. And this means they're all about supporting small, local businesses. You won't see a hipster walking around with a Starbucks coffee in their hand at the mall, that's for sure. So they'll be at the local farmer's market. We actually mentioned in our video 15 things loved by the poor until the rich ruin them, where we said, at the farmer's market, you're going to be charged a month's salary to pick up artisanal bread and a hand-bottled strawberry jam. And hipsters are happy to pay for these items. They know where their food comes from. They know they're supporting small businesses, and they know and appreciate the time it takes to produce the items they purchase. Number 9. Hipster-Economy is opening a whole new line of ethical businesses. We're not saying you have to be a hipster to be ethical, but hipsters have played a huge role in pushing for ethical and locally sourced alternatives. People want to live and wear their values. Hipsters are driving sales of ethically sourced clothing and manufacturing. Other ethical businesses include secondhand shops, including books, furniture, records, and clothing. Any job that requires skills that people can learn without necessarily needing a college education. Industries that look to uplift the community, and outlets that don't require the support of big corporations. These businesses are part of the maker revolution, as described by Mark R. Hatch. They're artisans, crafters, DIYers, and inventors, and they're changing the way we change the world. Number 10. The hipster economy is pushing for a moral economy. Aluxers, when it comes to a moral economy, this is a basic explanation. We all work to make money. Many industries make way more money than others, but each industry is important in the efficient running of society. A moral economy would mean that people could do what they love in terms of employment, but still get paid a fair wage. Many hipsters believe that a universal basic income would alleviate these problems, but there are pros and cons to this, as you'll see in our video 15 Things Universal Basic Income Won't Solve. Be sure to watch it. Number 11. What does it mean for big business? One of the big draw cards of the hipster economy is authenticity, which is often what big business isn't able to provide. In a research paper by Iko Male from Tilburg University, he cited Pine and Gilmore 2008-35. In a world where businesses offer more and more deliberately and sensationally staged experiences, consumers increasingly choose to buy or not buy based on how genuine they perceive an offering to be. Authenticity is becoming a critical consumer sensibility. With that in mind, big business can grow along with hipster economy, but transparency and authenticity are a must. But Aluxers, even hipsters can fail in this area, as you'll find out next. Number 12. The Mast Brothers fooled the world. At one point, you couldn't go to a Shake Shack or Rag & Bone without encountering the beautifully packaged Mast chocolate bars, selling for $10 each. You've probably bought one or at least gifted one sometime. These bean-to-bar chocolates were made by the Mast Brothers, a hipster duo from Brooklyn. A Dallas-based blogger accused the brothers of buying bulk commercial chocolate, melting it down, and then repackaging it. In an article published a few days ago by The Courier, they mention the Mast Brothers chocolate as part of their article titled "Premium Chocolate Market to Witness Steady Expansion During 2021 to 2027." So it seems like there's still a demand for their premium handcrafted chocolate, despite the controversy. Number 13. How hipsters are helping to drive the plant-based movement. Aluxers, another industry that's seeing a surge in sales, is the plant-based movement. Be on the lookout for a new video we've got lined up for you called 15 Things You Didn't Know About the Plant-Based Industry, where we really dive in and take a deeper look. Hipsters and food, they go hand in hand, and according to Food Navigator, these foods and hipsters are a match made in heaven. Hybrid meat and plant-based products and anything seaweed-related. This trend is not fizzling out, as you'll discover when you watch the new video. Number 14. Hipsters and gentrification. In every city, there are certain areas considered unsafe, dangerous, run down, unkempt, and going nowhere. Bring in the hipsters and the area gets a sudden revival of sorts. Businesses start opening again. The area becomes more stable, exciting, even coveted. One retired blogger whose site was called Die Hipster blamed the hipsters for driving up rent in Brooklyn. It's an interesting topic and one we can argue both good and bad. Reviving a tired area is great for local economies, but driving up the rent where it's no longer affordable for those living there already is not so great. Number 15. Hipsters have helped us do different and be different. The beauty about hipsters and the hipster-economy is they've taught us that we don't all need to be building an empire to do great business. People appreciate the product as much as the person selling it. You can try completely outrageous business ideas and succeed, and finally, you can go to your job every day and absolutely love what you do. So, Aluxers, what's your take on the hipster economy? We love hearing your thoughts, so please join the conversation in the comments. And of course, you stuck with us until the end, here's your bonus. Can the flat white economy save the world? Douglas McWilliams wrote an article he had published on The Guardian called "Can Hipsters Save the World?" In it, he said hipsters and the ecosystem surrounding them represent the future of British prosperity. Not only are they greener and more ethical than the rest of us, but the industries in which they work are driving our economy. We mock them at our peril. So it seems like the answer to this question is a resounding yes. Thanks for watching, Aluxers. We're so glad you joined us today. We always value your support, so please subscribe for more videos and leave this one a thumbs up.